Let's go, Jai Mata Di.
Mata Di. Do epic shit.
Hello, sir. Welcome to Layers of Life podcast. It is such a pleasure to have you here. I want to go back to how we met. So it was 3 years ago. I think I was in Pune. I was on a sabbatical for a month. Me and my sister we were like, let's go to Pune. Let's have some fun. So we went there and we signed up for a digital marketing class. Then I was like, you know what? I think I should connect with all the entrepreneurs in Pune. And that's how I think through LinkedIn I reached out to you. And one thing led to another. Then you showed up on my webinar, and then we met in Bangalore. So I always, I told this to you as well that Hamesha I was like, you know what, I also need a mentor. I need somebody whom, who's going to give me gyan, who's going to tell me, Ria, this is not correct, this is not right. And then I met you once. You were like, you know what, Ria, this is not how you should do it. This is how you should do it. This is what you should do it. And वो भी मतलब इतना transparency से you were not like we both are in the same industry. Obviously, you're the biggest shark. I'm a little chotu sa fish. But you have been so transparent about everything. You have told me everything, given me all the gyan. And ever since that day, I think I've always called you my mentor. And it's not just the gyan. You also joined my client calls to explain them how to, hire me, given me budgeting and everything. So thank you so much for playing such a valuable role in my life. I never thought LinkedIn could get me to meet some amazing person like you. uh,
Thank you so much to you, Ria. I'm absolutely overwhelmed with your energy because I remember, as you said, when we met on LinkedIn, I saw your message and I replied a couple of days back, and we never met in Pune, but then we met in Bangalore.
yes.
We met in Hyderabad
Yes.
and then Bangalore. So, and every time I saw the energy in you, it's amazing because whether I interact with you over the phone, whether I interact with you, on that webinar, the energy is always high. So I've always been, following you, and I really support the entrepreneurs, the one who are putting efforts, the one who are, juggling, struggling, and, want to do something your own. So I am amazed with the stories that you have shared. So thank you so much for calling me here. I am privileged to be here.
Oh my God.
To uh, guide you and discuss with you and learn from you. So it's a part and parcel of a game, and we should support each other.
And I still remember when I started this podcast, I knew that I have no followers. I don't have any content out there. And I reached out to you. I was like, sir, I really wanted to be on my podcast. And you were like, Ria, December, we'll do it. And you were the one who reached out to me a couple of days back. You're like, you know what? I'm coming for a day to Hyderabad, but I'm going to stay back because I promised you that I'm going to record a podcast with you. Who does that? I mean, so much, so much of compassion to a fellow entrepreneur. This is not just entrepreneur. I don't even want to call myself an entrepreneur. The friendship that we have built over the last 3 years, it is so. I mean, I am so blessed, and I'm so sorry if I am repeating myself, but that's how I feel for you. The respect that I have for you is immense.
Thank you so much for that. And that's the lovely you, and that's in our business. See, it's all about commitment. If you're giving a word, whether give it to a client or your team, you're giving a word, keep your word, or else have a potential or have that straightforward nature to say no. Okay, no, it's not possible. I've learned this from many clients. I've been dealing with many clients, especially from the leaders of industrial companies or manufacturing industries. I've learned this transparency from them. I've learned this from clients. Say no if it is no, and say yes. And if you say yes, follow it.
Wow.
And if there are challenges after saying no, still discuss. So that transparency, and I think over the period, I have also learned it from all the senior people that I've worked with, the mentors that I have, my partner that I have. Keep it straight, keep it simple, keep it transparent.
Wow.
That's the simple it is.
Wow. So before I ask you 10,000 questions, I want to first ask you if you could give your introduction. I mean, you need no introduction, obviously, but if you could tell us a little bit about yourself, that would be awesome.
So I am Harshal Thorat, the founding partner and CEO for The Connections. We are based in Pune, our HO, and then we are based in Bangalore and Ahmedabad, having a good team size, about 700 plus team members based out of all these three locations, and we have a good expansion plans. Our core has been into a call center, BPO business, customer service, lead management. That has been our core, but majorly our industrial vertical has been manufacturing and industrial companies. So that has been our core for a long time. And recently, last 2 years, we have added one more verticals of serving fintech clients and edtech clients. So working with manufacturing was a new stream. So, and that was the lot of learning that I had. So I run this company with my partner Mamta Niturkar, and she is quite active and quite energetic, and being a strong support for the connections.
Wow.
So we've been together, and we started in 2010. I started in 2010, and Mamta and I joined together in 2011, and it's going on. We are
Wow.
here.
So I want to come back to the previous question where I was like, you are my mentor. There is no denial in that. Even though we talk like once in 4 months or 5 months, I know that I am going to call you if I'm stuck somewhere. Do you have a mentor?
I have many. I have many. In fact, that is something I always reach out to people wherever I'm stuck, or even if I want to discuss, I reach out to them. So I'll tell you one example, rather than taking a name. So when I wanted to start a business, I had a very good offer. I was a senior manager with one of the rather Kotak Mahindra Life Insurance Company. So I had a good promotion offer. I left that company because of posting. I got posted to some other location. I had an offer from very big brand from Mumbai. The other offer was from Goa, but the third option I had in my mind was business. And then I was like, what to choose? And that's where I met couple of people, rather not just one, two. I met almost 18, 20 people. From who's been my ex-boss, who's been my IT guy, where I've met them somewhere or the other. Like we have a strange connections, but I've met them. And I asked them, should I do the business, should I not? So out of 20, there are 50% who supported, 50% who did not support it. And I off, because that was the beginning, I felt bad. If you cannot guide me, at least don't say no. I felt bad initially, but then after 2 years, 3 years of business, I realized those guys were also right, because someone told me, Harshal, you will have financial challenges. Harshal, what if your client stop doing business with you? You will get back to square one. And I was like, why will that happen? And when all these things happened, actually, because they told me, I was already prepared. So I think when you take suggestions, or when you talk to your mentors, or from your industry, I've learned it. It took me almost 3 years after starting business to understand they're important, or maybe I was not following. But then moment I realized, I called them back. Sir, आपने बोला था ये challenges आएगा, and then it came, and I was like, wow. I told them thank you, because it was easy to face those challenges, whether it could be immediate financials, late payments from the clients, no on-time payments, or maybe team issues where all of a sudden team unavailability or abscond, which are common in our industry. But then it helped me.
Wow. Do you still call for help?
Yeah, I do.
Do you still need help?
No, yes. As a help, we always need guidance. You have that guiding light. So you are a team. You are a teamwork. The guidance when it comes to operations, technical, when it comes to certain decision making, or adding some vertical, switching from one stream to another stream, adding some business. So we have another business also, other business also.
Oh, wow.
So so we always take suggestions. That helps, and especially from those first 3 years experience, I always ask.
वाओ! और आपको ऐसा नहीं लगता है कि यार मैं क्यों पूछूँ? मैं छोटा लगूँगा लोगों के सामने. What if people think that I'm not like these questions, these doubts?
No, this was to be very initially. एक बार आपको 5-6 years. So two things, if you ask me, what is it that I was always resistant in first two couple of years was, the one is asking questions, asking for help, and the second was allowing task, asking delegation of task. So I was very resistant in that कि मैं ही कर पाऊंगा, and nobody could do better. So I was like, but then the moment I gave up, it took me almost 4 or 5 years to understand. the delegation. And when I started, couple of senior people did told me, Arshal, ab de, focus on growth. My partner was behind me. But then when we actually did it, I'm so happy. So I have a team now who does the work, and I could focus on growth. And maybe the recent growth, you just mentioned before starting your podcast, from almost we have gone double.
Yeah, I mean, last year I think we met in Bangalore, and you were like, Ria, the team size is 400, and next year we are hoping that the team size, we'll had about 100, 200 people additional. And today when I was like, what is the team size? They're like, about 800. I was like, oh my god, double.
So this is the result of delegation.
Delegation.
And I'm blessed to have a wonderful team around me who are there with us from last 10 plus years. My core team, they are always there as a backbone. So this is how it is going.
I love how you never say that it is because of me things happen. You're always like, my business partner has done so much, my team has done so much. You're always like giving the credit to other people. So tell me more about how did you meet your partner, your business partner?
My partner, so when I started, I started as a proprietor firm,
Okay.
but I think it was in next 3 months, 4 months. I've got first project also. I've started working for them, but the moment I was looking for other projects, I've realized that I need a private limited company. As the big brands look for the backup, you always have a team. And I knew Mamta, and before that, and I still call her madam, by the way. So I knew her, and I knew the people around her. So I reached out to her. I have formed this company, I have these contracts, and I'm looking for a partner, and I'm asking you. You know, and then she took time and she said, okay. As in, we didn't discuss financials. We didn't discuss, in details what would be the investment or all. So it's like even she knew me, and then okay, fine, let's do this. Let's form the private limited company, and then okay, I am there, and then we started. And slowly, slowly, she has been an entrepreneur since day one. She has worked, as a support function, but I think she has been an entrepreneur for quite long. And that's how we, she agreed to me. We came together. We formed the business. So
And today you guys are killing it.
God bless. Yeah.
You were mentioning that I got my first project. How? How did you get your first project?
First project. Okay. So I reached out to clients.
How?
And so through networks,
Okay.
through people, I asked them, "Arey, I'm looking for some business, refer, if you could let me know." And then that's how, with those networking, I got to know. I think more than the first project, the interesting, I would be happy to share the first story of my manufacturing client.
Yes, yes, please.
Yeah, I would be. So we started in 2011 as a private limited. 2013, is what I started with manufacturing journey. So I googled it. I clicked on Google, top manufacturing companies, because I was looking for a new industry. I googled it and I found, okay, this is a brand. I reached out to, I called them up. The reception answered and they said that I was quite blessed that reception told me about more about the departments. They didn't transfer the call, but I said I want to talk to them. If you could connect. And with couple of attempts like we do, they transferred the call, and I started interacting. So I met one of the sales head. His assistant answered the phone call, executive assistant, and I still remember her. I'm still in touch with her. It was 2012 that I started interacting, and she spoke to me, and then we started talking, and then I requested for a meeting. I had gone for a meeting. It took almost 1.5 months. I was doing some silly mistakes. So it was a group company, So when you always have a group company, like Reliance, example. So Reliance is Mukesh Ambani and Anil Ambani. So I'm chasing Mukesh Ambani. I'm trying Mukesh Ambani, but all I am seeing Googling, because it was initial period I was doing Google, and every achievement that Anil Ambani was doing, I was writing to Mukesh Ambani, congratulations for this award, you know. So I was writing to that group, the Mukesh Ambani group, all about Anil Ambani. I was like, and then I was blessed again, Then I met those guys. Harshal, please have your studies done properly. We are not that group. I was like, okay, I'm so sorry, sir. And I was blessed that he told me.
Yes.
He did not, took his on his, he didn't get hurted. He may realize that naya young bachcha hai, try kar raha hai, and then like okay. And then it took almost 8 months to convince the client, to start. They were doing it in house, and I was convinced them for outsourcing. It took almost 8 months to convince them. And then a period came when they said, okay, we will try with you. We will give you a chance. And because I've done my studies and submitted them, and they told me, Harshal, we will, whatever you have submitted, your report says, if you outsource, these are benefits. I was asking for a 3-year contract, and they said, Harshal, we will do a first contract of 3 months. And if you whatever your results are saying, if that is reflected in the reports, we will sign the contract of 3 years, or else we will stop. And trust me, those results came in first month, second month. So I did not have to go and negotiate. And then we started in January. In March we have signed a contract of 3 years, and that was 2013, 1st January 2013. Today we are on 13 December 2024. We are still engaged with that client.
Oh my God, you still have that
We
client.
still have, and our business has gone multifolds with them.
Wow.
So we are blessed. I always say that wherever I stand today, or my business stands today, it is because of that association and that trust. The guys might have moved to those, some other companies, but from that executive assistant and the people who visited my office for audit, and from all other, the clients who have helped me, who have said yes to me,
Yes.
I am in touch with them. I just love them, and I thank them every time I meet them. I thank them. So thank you for the opportunity. You will see on LinkedIn also. I've commented so many times. Thank you, because of you, because of you. That is that opportunity. I think we all need is one opportunity.
Yes,
Yeah.
very true. So, number one, what is BPO? And what exactly is your business? If you can explain it in layman's language.
Okay. Okay. So BPO is business process outsourcing. Nowadays, the industry is known as business process management. It is known as BPM. So many of the big companies are renaming them or rebranding them as BPM. So earlier, what used to happen is, okay, the call center. When I started, it was a call center. The call is like, everything over the phone. Either you have a product and you have a problem, call us. Thank you for calling. How can I help you? Or else, if you are doing some promotion or you're doing some feedback, those where you do outbound call. So that is call center. Then slowly the email was introduced, where customers started opting for email. They could write an email and there is someone who would reply to those emails. Then there came a social media. People would comment on Facebook.
Community management.
Either it could be a lead, it could be a sales, it could be a complaint also. Then there's a social media, and now WhatsApp and all those. And so this was a communication channel. So from call center, it has changed to a contact center. This is one. Now, earlier, company, what outsourcing was done was only the calls or emails or, those tasks. But now industry is outsourcing many critical tasks. Critical task as in real-time management of their, the engines or their product which is on field, tracking your delivery team real time, So it is not doing a call center, or rather BPO earlier was known as doing a back-end job, which needs, which is a volume, which needs a back-end data entry, which needs a couple of phone calls, we just need a call and do a feedback. But I think that has changed now. So it's a project management. That's why it is a business project management, where you are, let's say you register a complaint, you capture a complaint, and then you allocate it on the field to the engineer. You track that complaint, you close it, and you see that it is closed in the defined tact. And then you also take a feedback. Sir, how has been your experience? I understand you had a problem, but is it running fine? Is it working fine? And then ensure that that experience is carried for next 3 months or 6 months, and then you keep on tracking. Now there are, so what example I gave was a very simple of, B2C customer, where you have an individual retail customer. But there are business to business interactions. Let's say I interact with one of the banks, which has around 10,000 plus branches across India. Correct. So we interact with every branch manager of the banks whenever they have a problem. Okay. So there is an annual contract with them. My client has signed. There is an annual contract, and any branch manager has a problem. Either he will raise a ticket on the portal. Either he will write
So
an
you're saying
email.
IT problem,
IT, not IT problem. It's a product.
product problem.
It's a product.
Okay.
So any company, any bank, they have a UPS, they have a generator sets,
Correct.
they have some AC, electrical items, electronics items. They have a desktop. So there are various items in the bank. There are servers, there are the IT. So all these setups needs a real-time support if something goes down.
Okay.
Now, because there are around 10,000 branches, there are 15, 20,000 branches. So these are, so they sign with the provider, they do an AMC.
Okay.
That wherever I have a problem in India, any of my branch, this listed branch of 10,000, I want your support in 2 hours.
Oh.
If it is a working hour, I want it in 30 minutes. If it is non-working hours, then 2 hours. UPS goes down, all our system will
Shut down.
shut down. We cannot afford that. We can wait for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, half an hour, but not more than that. So in that case, what? So that support. So if you're using some UPS brand and you know that their support is reliable, you will promote that.
Correct.
And that's how the support is established.
Wow. So, if I can, just sum it up, what BPO is. BPO is now it has also been called as
BPM,
Business Project Management,
process management.
process management. And what happens is all the sorts of back end support. It could be calling, it could be sales, it could be customer support, it could be just management, real time management. Everything, there is one specialized center that takes care.
Takes care.
Correct. So that's BPO, and that's what you have been doing. But your industry is manufacturing
Majorly.
majorly,
And we are into fintechs. So in the
fintech.
last 2 years, we have serving a lot of fintech brands.
Okay.
We are serving edtechs also.
Wow.
So
So how did you pick manufacturing? It is such a so I have a similar business and I never think about like manufacturing. All I think about is financial, real estate, these industries where there is already a lot of demand and there's already a lot of supply. But how did you come up with this manufacturing industry? Like,
okay, so before getting into business, I was a part of insurance, so I knew one thing that I want to get into business. But what knowledge do I have about business? Zero. And the otherwise product knowledge I have was the insurance, and I knew how it works. So I started with it. I started with insurance. And before getting into business, I was the, deputy manager and then manager with. So I was handling centers where, so like, we have we have a business. I'm sitting on this side.
okay.
So where I am running a show for my client, they're doing their back end. But I was client at many centers.
Ah, makes sense.
So I was on that side and now I'm in this side. So dealing on this side was simple, quite easy comparatively. So when I was on that side, so I've got a very good hands-on experience because I was interacting with those centers or the outsourcing partners, their owners, how they talk, how are they planning, how they're planning their finances. So it was all, and everyday interactions with them has helped me to gain those knowledge and to gain that confidence. Okay, we have to get here.
Wow.
Yeah. And so that's how we decided manufacturing. And insurance was already there. I know there are a lot of competitors, there are a lot of rush is going to be there in next 4 or 5 years. The call flow, because I have worked for US, so we knew that US, the voicemail challenge,
Yes.
like we all have today, is going to be there tomorrow.
Yeah.
So I thought of choosing an industry which does not have a strong presence, and that's how I started reaching out. And we've got almost 25, 26 clients now where we are serving like this. The one who gave chance at the big brand. And today we are with 25, 26 manufacturing clients, we are serving them.
Wow. So BPO, now called BPM, this is usually not very, what do you call, credible, or there are very less people out there who aim to be in a BPO, because I reached out to a college and I was like, hey, I want to source candidates, and they were like, oh, but you know what? We are not sure if we want our students to go and work in a BPO. So BPO is not like very fancy, or people are like, oh, they are working in BPO or something. So what do you have to say on this? Like when people are like, oh, it's a BPO, it's a call center.
See, it was there initially,
Yeah.
where when we interviewed, and we came across good people, we had to convince them to work with us. There was a time, in fact, sometimes even today we have to do it. I always ask my HR team, even if you have to convince someone to work in your industry, and if you found that candidate good, please do that. Don't mean that, okay, they need a job, or, we will have other options. No, if you are finding candidate right and it's good, trainable, do it. That is important. See, educating people, educating others, because there are a lot of rumors that goes around, as you rightly said, that BPO, the industry is, but no, this industry is good. There are people who are making careers, they are making fortunes. There are, I have some good people with me, my core team, who are there with me from last 10 years. So I know their salary of less than 10K and what it has gone now, and what potential they have and what they can do. So it works, and it works for female also. It is office desk job. It is a most safest job. You have all the policies, securities, compliance. It is there.
100%.
So it is there. You got to. If you are, it is same as you go to some company and you are coming here, and here you have a chance to grow faster. I always say this, especially to the newcomers. Whenever I get a chance to interact with them, I always say this. Even if you are less confident, or if you don't know, in fact, down the line, everybody should have this 6 months of work, compulsory working in BPO. The compulsory, because they will enhance their communication skills. They'll enhance their confidence level. You have to interact with customer for all 8 hours. Compulsory for 6 months. The change you see in yourself is amazing.
Drastic.
And that should be made compulsory now.
Do you think BPO, this industry can decline in the coming a few years because of AI?
No, it won't get decline. The complexity will increase, in terms of, see, as I told you, we have evolved with time. We were providing support only over the phone. Then came emails, then came WhatsApp, then came the SMS, the social media. We have adapted it. Now there is additional tool that is coming. So I see there are a lot of hypes is going on about AI. Yes, it helps with a lot of automation, but it's just an additional tool which will help, because you will still need those outsourcing partners.
Because you know what happened? I am getting calls, a lot of calls, and it feels like a human is talking to me, but it is AI. So do you think that is going to? Did it affect your business already?
No, no, it has not. It did initially, because a lot of companies are trying this.
Okay.
To be very honest, a lot of companies are trying things, but after in a 4 or 5 months, they are stopping this also. But that won't be the case forever, to be very honest, because the AI, this human touch, when the human bots, the voice bots that you are referring to, these bots, when they were introduced, they were not that ready, but now they are ready. So I'm sure this bots has a very good potential to handle so many things. So with the next 2 3 years, this bot are going to take some good place, but it will only solve the major, the basic issues. Thank you for calling. How can I help you? I have a complaint. This is a problem. Okay, raise a ticket. Done.
So it is not going to completely replace.
No, but your problem, understanding your problem, whether it's in part A or part B or part C, and then interacting with the system, and then okay, uh, you know, whether, let's say you go to it's like a mobile phone. If you are in warranty, and then you have to first find out whether you are a part of the service package, you are not a part of service package, whether it's in warranty or it is not in warranty. And then, even if it is in warranty, is it a self damage or it is damaged by somebody else? This validation will be required.
And that only human touch can do.
Yeah, even touch can do. Certain, yes, maybe you will not see anybody at the reception desk. You just have to submit your phone. Everything will get automated, but at the back end, somebody will be required to validate, and then to pass on, to other team who will repair it, but again to validate and give a quote, and to finalize, okay, this will be a chargeable, though it's in warranty, because it's a self damage, it is not an accidental damage, this will be chargeable.
Wow. And having AI is, I think, it also will push people to what do you call, to learn, to communicate better, because now they know that starting ka jo kaam hota hai, the basic work that has been, AI is taking care. Now if I want to be in a company or if I want to get a job, this basic level of knowledge is not going to help me. Now I have to push myself to have a little bit more knowledge, a little bit more equipped with communication or knowledge. And this will also demand a higher salary, because of the basic things, like for when you used to pay 15, 20,000, 10, 15,000 rupees for a basic person, that has been replaced by AI. So now if you want to get a high, what do you call, high end person, you have to, increase the salary. So do you think this is
I'll put it in this way. When you said about agents, so I don't think the demand, the high demand, yes, the expectations will be high, but that will be met because on our side, when we are a service provider, so the biggest challenge in our industry today is the clients are demanding AI solutions,
correct?
but they are not ready to invest. So there's only some percentage portion of client who are okay, fine, who has a volume and who understand this, that okay, will support you with investment. But there are clients who will not, so they would expect these solutions from you. So now AI comes with investments, lot of R&D and lot of investments. So if you in our networks, the hot topic is ye invest kaun karega, and then how do I convince my client to do the investment or support me with the investment? No. Or else if there is a competitor who will come up, sir, don't do any investments, I have done this, you come to me. So we have to be competitive also, and we have to have this solution also, and at the same time we have to convince our clients also, okay, if you want this, we have this, but it will come with certain additional cost. So some clients will do, some clients won't, so we'll have to balance that. But I think the biggest challenge is this, because if this additional investment comes as a cost to a provider like us, then the benefits will not get passed. You're getting my point?
Yes.
And if when client supports, and then the benefit gets passed. So it's like, I'm sure you must have some projects where client is ready to pay you additional incentives.
Correct.
You have a chance to play, I pass it on. Some portion or complete portion, you have to pass it on. But if client is not giving incentives, you don't have a scope to pass it on. You have to play around that budgets that you have.
Wow.
So I think that's how it's going to be.
So, okay, how do you do R&D? How do you get a new technology adapted here? Because so the first project that you had, were you the person who used to make calls? Did you ever make calls like?
No, but I've sat with my team. I do some audits now,
Okay.
random audits where I pick up any recording and listen those calls.
Oh.
And then it's a random, so my team is always on their toes. Okay, yaar, boss kabhi bhi sunega, kabhi bhi aayega. But that's reduced now. But initially, I've sit with the team, especially with those agents who were struggling.
Okay.
Give me your headphone, and I'll do these calls.
Okay.
And then we have made calls.
So how is the structure? How is the team structure in your company? Because you have a team size of 800, 700, and you have three offices. One is in Bangalore, one is in Pune, one is in Ahmedabad.
Yeah.
Correct, these three.
Yeah.
Now each office has about how many people approximately?
So it varies. So Pune also. So we go with client to client. So
Okay.
so we have 3 centers in Pune.
Oh.
So when I say my total delivery centers are 5.
Oh. Okay.
One is in Bangalore, 3 are in Pune, and one is in Ahmedabad.
Okay. Wow.
So delivery centers are 5. So for each center, I have a center manager.
Okay.
And then there is a hierarchy of assistant manager, team leaders, and then training manager, a quality analyst, process trainer, then senior agent, SMEs we have. We have a MIS person, we have a dialer person.
What does these do? If you could give me a little the responsibility of a center manager is to take care of everything.
Entire center.
The manager. Okay. Next is
Assistant manager.
assistant. Okay. What does he do?
Assistant manager. Okay, I'll go. We'll go from the bottom.
Okay. Yes.
So there are agents.
Okay.
There are senior agents.
Okay.
The one who actually goes on a call or write emails, or the one who are executing task.
Okay.
But then above them is a team leader.
Okay.
So there are bunch of more team leaders. They report into assistant manager.
Okay.
So, for example, in Bangalore, I have around 300 people, 250 people, let's say, 250, a team size of 250. And I have around 13 team leaders.
13 team leaders. Okay.
13 team leaders, because some with the project of 20 headcount, some with the project of 10 headcount.
Okay.
Because it goes with the project to project.
Exactly.
You know, some are, I have a team leader for 5 headcount also.
Okay.
You know, and with 25 also. So let's say I have a 13, 14 team leaders. Now again, I cannot have all these team leaders report into single assistant manager. So I have, you know, layer of assistant managers. Okay. You are accountable for these 4 projects.
Okay.
And you know, and those four team leaders, the second assistant manager could be accountable for you know, the same size, but could be just 2 projects, or it could be 6 projects, because size vary. You know, so that's the ratio is defined, and assistant manager reports into the center manager.
Wow.
And the center manager is report into head of operations.
Okay, and who is the head of operation? Like, is it every
It is accountable for all locations.
all the locations?
So all center managers report into head of operations. So head of operations, as of now, considering our team size, they are reporting into us. You know, so me and my partner have divided our roles.
Okay.
So for this XYZ things, you report into her,
Okay.
and for these things, you can reach out to me. Yeah.
And your job right now is just to oversee the team, not so much into it, but a little bit, and get clients.
Get clients. So my partner is much active in operations now.
Okay.
So my focus is on expansion. So that's how we have divided our roles.
Wow. Is it fun planning expansion?
Yes, it is always fun.
Scary?
It is scary, but it comes with the challenges, because every time you sit in a meeting with your CFO and you know what is in the pipeline. It's like, यार मेरा धंधा है, CFO is hired and it's like मेरे को ही पूछ रहे हैं. But then it's fun initially, but then we have realized that, you know, because they are doing it for us.
For us.
We have made them to sit, you know, so
Make you accountable.
we make us accountable. So if we don't do it, so I'm sure down the line we will have more positions of VPs, APs, you know, AVPs, who would look after you know, more you know, diligently and expand. Then we focus on other things.
Wow. So right now you are focusing on expansion. Do you have what departments do you have? Do you have a human resource department?
We have, so department wise, we have HR department, we have training department, and the process trainers we have a quality monitoring department.
Wow.
Because all conversations are recorded, and if any agents are not doing those blunders or, you know, reacting to the customer, to the reactive customer.
Is there any funny story?
Okay, so I would be happy to share. So funny story in terms of international. So I had one international projects.
Okay.
And there was an agent where, you know, Charlotte.
Okay.
You know, Charlotte is a common name.
Yeah.
She was, I think, newly hired and trained. You know, so she was on calls, and all of a sudden, I you know, so my everybody. So I got to know later on this thing, but then my quality intervened. There, what are you talking and all those, and they decided to take action on her and especially fire her.
Okay.
It was that. So it came to us, you know, as like, the moment we listened to that, you know, so we laughed the same, like you are yet to listen, but you know, we laughed. So because what she did is, you know, hi, Charlotte, you know, hi, can I talk to Charlotte? So, you know, giving
Charlotte.
so giving so much of training and all those things. Now, even we laughed, you know, we reacted the same way, but the question was, should we fire her or not to fire her? You know, so we didn't do it. We gave her a chance, and you know, she was fine. But that's how it was.
How do you hire trainers? Like, because they are the most vital part, because they are going to make sure that they are training all the agents. So how do you find?
So all our my 85% of leadership is in-house grown. We have trained them internally. We have promoted them internally.
Wow.
So we are known for my center managers. Rather, all my 4 center managers are internally promoted.
Oh.
They have seen this later. You know, they started as an agent. They have been to team leader, assistant manager, and then center manager.
Wow.
Whether it's a Bangalore, my camp, all 3 locations. Ahmedabad, we do not have assistant manager as of now. It is being managed by my Pune team.
Wow.
Because that's just 40-50 people as of now.
Okay.
I'm sure that will add on. So once I have 150, then we can have a assistant manager. Then it is managed. It comes under my Pune assistant manager and Pune center manager. So that's how it is. The structure is, and we promote internally, and we have 2 practices, which is early warning system.
Okay.
Yeah, AWS we call it. So it is again introduced by one of my center, the head of center, the business operations, Lenin Raj. So he had got this. So he has given a wonderful task to his managers and told them, we see a lot of absconding. And he had said from 1st to 10th is our, let's say, salary date. I want you to name me the people who will go abscond. You know, basis of their behavior, their demand, or whatever the pattern. So he has set up certain criteria, and I want you to give me. Okay, now managers give the names, and I want you to see that they don't go abscond. So he gives a task to those managers, and then even still somebody abscond. Then they do all R&D, why this happened and all this happened. He tried to speak to that agent, what happened? Because if all efforts were put, so that's how there's a rating to my managers also. So this is how early warning system. And the second is, show the potentials. So where the managers have options of recommending some leaders. We always ask them, if you see some potential in some guy or a girl, you please recommend them. So they recommend us, my team meets them, and then we also meet them sometime, a partner meets them. And then we decide, okay, fine, let's say if 10 are recommended, okay, this file looks good, basis of the long-term plans and the discussions we had, so put all extra efforts on training them in next 4 or 5 months, put them into pressure situations where we ask them to stretch their working hours. We ask them on their holiday to come to office. These are all testing. It's a part of testing. Okay. So not intentionally, but we see the
creating that sense of ownership.
Yeah, how they are they open for the feedbacks, the critical feedbacks, the straightforward feedbacks. How will they handle the clients? When clients say, every time, if you cannot do it, I have other partners ready. If they always come with this threatening stick or warnings, so how will you handle? How will you be polite? How will you handle your team members?
Wow. So you have a proper.
So it's always done in next 4 or 5 months, and these guys get ready, and then they are given a chance. Yeah.
And what platforms do you use for project management? Do you use anything for project management?
So platforms, so we have
all the tools that you use.
Yeah. Tools. So we have a in-house software development team. When I realized, especially after getting into manufacturing, the CRM, the tools that client uses, is only for their head office and as always only for their channel partners. Okay. It has nothing to do for the help desk, the call center point. Okay. But then I saw some opportunity there, so we have got in-house software developed. Wow. Some clients, so we use it for most of the clients. Okay. And so wherever I meet any client, where they don't have a call center application, they just have a scope of ticket generation. But when I get 100 calls, out of 100, only 60 are for ticket generation. It could be sales or complaint, but 40 are general information. Okay. So where do I capture that? I don't need the Excel. So I used my CRM. So I think 2014-15 we started, but now our CRM is such a robust that.
And the CRM is inbuilt.
Inbuilt. So from HRMS to attendance management to everything is in my system. Okay. So project management, timelines management, the task management is managed by our CRM only.
I would really love to have another podcast with you where we go in detail about this team, like how to build a team, how to take care of a team and all, because there is so much to learn for some, like, wow. And so these are the tools that you use. These are the departments that you have. I think I kind of interrupted when you were talking about the team. So you had business development.
Yeah. So the team. So hierarchy we spoke. Then we have HR team. We have a process training. We have a quality. We have a BDM team, business development team. We have MIS team. So MIS is basically the end of the day. What has happened? You have to convert that into reports format and send it as a dashboard to the client. This was my progress of yesterday. So again, MIS there are external MIS which are for clients, and there are internal MIS because clients have only certain formats. They wanted to see it everyday progress, but also we want to see the progress. We want to do some prediction. Where are we heading? So those come internally. So these are MIS team. Then we have accounts, admin, IT.
And then the main team.
Yeah. And then the operations team.
All right. So now you work in the Indian market, and that is the most toughest market to crack according to me, because the company that I have is Namo Padmavati, and we are only focused on the North Americans and Australians and everybody, and it is quite easy because of the difference of the currency, right? So here, $1 is about 80 to 83 rupees, but in India you work like with Indians, and Indians are a little like they know the max, they know their numbers. So how is it, like how did you make a business out of it? Like how did you because I think the margins are going to be low, everything is going to be low. So how did you crack this?
Okay. So international, see, when I started a business, I was always sure, and especially after spending 1 2 years, and me and my partner, we were always sure that we will have a consistency, we will have a longevity. We will not focus on short-term benefits. You know, and that's what. So we wanted reliability. So all the clients that we have worked, so I have many clients where I've been associated with them from 5 years, 10 years, as I told you. So I have a very good retention rate, and retention rate is possible when you deliver. And initially only we sign a contract of three years. So I know there will be consistency. So see, even if you sign a contract of 3 years, it comes with the clause they can exit anytime in 2 months notice period.
Okay.
Until and unless it has to be mutually agreed. If it is there is something wrong practice or something unethical thing or which is out of integrity we have done, they have an option of exit.
Yes.
No, so that's how we have a long-term contracts. But we know that surety. Okay, only thing we have to do is deliver and give a delighted experience.
Wow.
So we always ask our team, 3 साल का कॉन्ट्रैक्ट है, अभी आपको सिर्फ हमें डिलीवर करना है. इसमें we have to see to it how what we can do a value additions, how we can do optimizations and automations. So all those things. So team can focus on that, and we focus on growth. So here you have a consistency of long term. That's what our game has been. Look at the consistency and reliability. Once you have that, okay, you can focus on other things. So that has motivated us and helped us.
So, for example, when I work with a US company, if they hire a full time agent from me, and so the margin is easily 50-60%. So, they are willing to pay about 60-70,000 rupees, and in India, I can get it for about 25-30,000 rupees. So, there's a good margin for me, right? So, with you, the margins are going to be very less. So, do you focus on quantity, or because I don't want one agent, I wanted to hire at least 50 agents from us for this project? That's when it becomes easy for you.
No, we start with the small numbers also. Of course, not 1 and 2, but we start with small numbers also. But we predict, where it will take in next 3 years, 4 years. So there are, I think here, see, there cannot be a comparison between the international and domestic.
Correct.
Because international has its own pros and cons, domestic has its own pros and cons. And we also have some international projects now. In fact, like we have entered into fintech and edtech, we are entering into international also soon. So
Wow.
my partner is traveling to US for the same purpose in January.
Wow.
So we are planning our subsidiary company in US.
Very nice.
So that's how we are focusing on expansion. So that is one. But coming to margin wise, there are some financial gimmicks, or I would not be able to explain that detail or open up that details.
No problem.
But there are financial benefits that you have.
Okay.
You have to focus on those also. When you have to be a long-term player rather than short-term. So that has been helped us in domestic.
So consistency has helped you crack this market.
Yes.
Very good. And so, for example, you get a new project today, and they're like, "Hey, I need 20 people for you." So, do you have these people shortlisted already?
Yeah, so we have shortlisted already because there are continuous the recruitment effort that goes on. So and there are walk-ins, there are inquiries about job inquiries. So my HR always keep it shortlisted.
But what if they got busy, they got another job?
Yeah, but then we have others. There are various ways to get the people. There are online portals. There are ads that you run.
Okay. So it is very easy for you to find somebody immediately?
Yeah, it also, because we have the location that we choose for our office, whether it's a Bangalore or this, it matters a lot.
Okay.
So we have an IT park back in Pune, Injewadi, if you might have heard.
Yes.
So if I go and operate, and I operate from a central part of Pune,
Okay.
And because the transport system or the metro that is coming or the bus stands that we have, the local transport are very easily accessible. We just 500, less than 500 meters walk, easily accessible. For all my 3 centers in Pune, for Bangalore, Bangalore is less than 200 meter. For Ahmedabad also, we have ensured that we are into the central part.
So it is very easy for them to commute.
Exactly, and we can get a resource from all 4 part of resources.
Very smart.
The moment if I I'm in central part of Pune, and if I go to Injivadi, I will save 20% of my cost, or maybe more than that. The real estate is, and the subsidies that you have is cheaper, but then I will end up paying more on my recruitment and traveling allowances of those employees. So better to stay there, and that's why strategically we have to plan the location and do it.
So obviously your company name is The Connections. When I wanted to start, I mean, I never wanted to start my own company. It was, as you know, it was necessity. But I never, had that opportunity to think about my company name, because my nanny was like, Bhagwan ka naam lagana hai apan ko, proper Marwadi. So that's how Namo Padmavati came into picture. So actually it was Padmavati. She's a goddess, but I was not getting the domain name. So I had to add Namo in front of Padmavati, because Padmavati is a very generic name. So the domain was gone. So I'm like, what should I do now? So my Nani was like, add Namo. And now everybody, and I work with US people. So they're like, what do you mean by Namo Padmavati? And 90% of them can't even pronounce. So I'm like, I did some digging. I was like, Namo Padmavati means growing through the dirt and believing in new beginnings, because Padmavati Mata ko wo lotus up. So, but your name is so good, The Connections. Like, wow, it is so nice. How did you come up with the name?
So it was New Vision. So I wanted to name my company Kya Rakhna Hai when I started. It was New Vision. But again, I was not getting New Vision as a name. I took Navision. So the meaning of Navision also is a new vision. So Navision. So I got a domain, I've got the Navision World, and then Navision. I've got the name registered also. But then sooner I've realized, not sooner, almost it took 5 years me to change. So Navision Business Services Private Limited. But the moment I started interacting with those bigger brands and bigger clients, the moment I used to say Navision, they used to say Microsoft, because Microsoft has one of the software product, my Navision, Azure product. So I was like, no, I'm not Microsoft. I'm calling
You'll be one day.
so I am Navision Business Services. Then that's how. So then me and my partner sat and decided, okay, let's rename this. Let's rebrand this, our name. So we thought of what it had to be connecting name. So connecting, and that's how the discussion started. Okay, connection. And then okay, the connection domain, then okay, let's do The Connections. And that's how, with some authority and found, so The Connections. And we got it, The Connections. So we got a domain, and my partner liked it, and then we decided to keep this name.
So sweet.
So we got the name approval also, and that's how we got the name. So connecting name again. So our all discussion was finding the name was, we should have a connecting name with our industry, with people, with clients. We always interact. And that's how the thought came, why not Connections? The Connections, and that's how it all came up.
Wow. Beautiful story. So, The Connections, what a brilliant name. Like, the one thing that I really respect about you is you joined the webinar. I'm again getting the topic. And there were about 30, 40 people who joined the webinar that day, and it was about LinkedIn lead generation. And I saw one person, which is you. You are with a book and a pen and writing everything down. You're listening properly and you're writing. And I'm like, how can this person be a owner of such a big company? Because you are the founder itself is sitting here taking notes, trying to listen to everything, understand everything. So you still learn so much, and you are not like, whenever I reach out to entrepreneurs, I'm like, hey, there's this webinar. Okay, I'm going to have my business development team join this. But you were like, no, I want to join. I want to keep my headphones on, the video on, and a book and a paper, and write and then ask questions. How do you do that? Like, how do you find time to learn?
No, so that is the need of an hour. If coming to about learnings, especially with a lot of technologies getting developed, I am to attending more webinars now. Because this AI, you don't know, because what is new is coming. You have to be alert with those. What new is coming, what technology are they coming, where have they implemented, what are the case studies, and then you have to dig into it and try to understand, because they introduce some technology, but and they give just a rough idea about solutions, but they don't give you case studies. So it's your job to dig into it, and then finally understand what it is. So in fact, it is still there, and with this changing technology, it's a part and parcel of a game. To your other point of diarying, I have this habit, and I have one rule also, in my cabin. uh, if anybody who comes in my cabin, whether my manager, head of operations, center manager, even if they're coming with laptop and show some data, or even in conference hall, they have to have a pen and diary with them.
Oh,
Note it down.
wow.
I don't want you to believe. I don't trust your brain. Don't stretch your brain. Just note it down. Just keep on writing whatever says. So it's only my accountant who write a notes in this mobile, sir. I'm more comfortable. I said okay. Then
So there is a saying, a faded pen is much more powerful than a sharpest, mightiest mind. So you believe in that?
yeah, I believe in that because that helps. You don't have to come back and ask me, sir, I missed it, or I don't have to cross check your MOMs again. Okay, have you actually noted our point? And if you miss it, I know your diary is a reference, and I also write. So so there is always we have
Good
this
to
habit.
write
Yeah,
it.
good to write. Good to write.
So before we go, last few questions as an entrepreneur. Number one, what would you suggest people, entrepreneurs, to learn? Like, hey, Ria, I think you should focus on learning in this sector, this sector, this sector. Like, how should we start learning? And from where should we start? What is the need of the hour? Which sort of learning?
No, so I can talk about my industry.
Yes, fair.
So my industry, uh, so I always tell my team again, if you are IT people, so I have IT manager also. So if you want to focus, so now my one of the IT manager is on attending one of the exhibitions, in Delhi. So I have intentionally sent him, go and see the technology, what is else coming in. So that's how. So we created curiosity that you have to keep yourself at par with the current trends that are coming up. With my operations team, I always ask them to focus on the team handling, team learning, the generational behavior that is coming up. So there was a time when when I was doing recruitment, I remember that I was blessed to get a people who were committed, who were there, who would at least respect your discussion thoughts. But now generation changed. So now it's like they want, okay, fine, whether you sit and do emotional talks with them, they know that यार ये फेंक रहा है, यार ये इसको क्या जरूरत है, he has an options, or that
Very true.
that discussion won't stay with them for a long. So so earlier if you had to put 5 minutes effort, now that has gone to 50 minutes effort.
You're absolutely right. I mean, that's what I focus on in Namo Padmavati as well, is having a relationship with, like a very healthy relationship with my team members. I don't like to call anyone employees. I just feel like, but having a relationship with them where I'm like, hey, you know what you said? It was your birthday yesterday. How was it? So I'm trying to build that bond with them, not because of any like inside what do you call purpose, like any what do you call, but I just want to have a bond because I want to respect them. I want them to feel like they are important, and yeah, I mean that's very important.
Yes. But earlier, I'm sure, because you are also doing this from a long time, many years, then initially, let's say before even 3-4 years, it was in couple of interactions, your team member would realize, okay, she has the right intention.
Yes.
But now you have to do tens of
Yes,
interactions
yes.
to make them realize, boss, I'm talking about you.
Yes,
You
very
know,
true.
so
Yes,
so
I agree.
this change, but then see, it's a cultural change. The competition has gone high, so I cannot blame that guy who is sitting there. He is coming from that competitive environment, market, the pressures. So it is, we will have to learn the skills to talk to them, how to communicate them, rather than expecting them to
Understand better.
understand what the 3 year, 4 years earlier used to understand.
पहले the boss or the employer used to be taking the position of the god, like no matter how the boss is, how the god is, they used to blindly respect them. Now everybody is looking for a friend. Like you do something wrong, you say something which is like, hey, what, you did not do anything, this is not correct what you did, it goes on social media. So the so the willpower has, like, the capacity to understand or listen to the person has gone down. Do you also feel the same?
Yes, it is. It has gone down because there are a lot of social pressure that has come up. The competitive pressure. I see a guy who just started earning. Wants to have an iPhone, or they buy an iPhone, or the expensive phones, not specifically iPhones,
The expensive
the
ones.
expensive ones, and they're ready to deal an EMI. A salary of any salary, even if you can afford the EMI, even if it's your 20%, but hold on, wait, just wait. So those things.
Today it is all about class.
Yeah.
It is about looking good. Even if you don't feel good inside, you want to look good.
Look good. And if I cannot go, or rather, we cannot go and try to educate them. Why you are taking this phone now? तुम्हारे हम जब तुम्हारे सब थे तो ऐसा करते थे. We cannot go back. They will not understand. So better.
So when should you buy a luxury item? Like according to you, if there's a 1 lakh rupee worth of item, when do you think the person can now buy it? Like usually there's a saying that you should be able to you should buy something when you have the money to buy that same product twice or thrice. So what do you think?
Ah, okay. So, because I could see this do epic shit, and that reminds me of Ankur Wariku, and he has a very nice saying in this. So, whenever you feel like buying any product, just hold on to that for 15 days or 8 days. You feel like, okay, I need this mobile, and you are desperate, but you will do loans, or even if you have a money and you need this, just postpone your decision for 8 days or 10 days. Just push your decision. You buy it, but after 10 days. And after 10 days, if you still feel the intensity of buying that product is still as high, so he said your 90% of the times your intensity will go down and you will not want that. So he has very nicely stated, and I that's how, but that's what he has explained. So I think when to buy, to answer your questions, when to buy, is whether you really need it. If it is for a luxury and show off, don't buy it. But you really need it. You have to travel somewhere, and that's for your important work, or that is worth, spend heavy on tickets. But if you think you can plan that travel after 1 month and you get almost 20% of the cost, then do it. Think wise. Just because मुझे आज लगा गोवा जाना and tomorrow I go to Goa, it should not be that way. It should not be that way.
And the why I think Ankur Warikoo has said this is because आज के generation में the youth especially does not have patience. And when I say the youth, I count myself in. I know that when there's this urge to buy something, I'm like, let's just do it. When I want to eat something, I'm like, let's just do it. But वो patience नहीं है. So you guys have a lot of patience. So how to build patience? Is there any secret sauce? Because we don't know.
Not secret sauce. To be very honest, it's you understand with time. When you actually face and you come across situations, as I tell you, as I told you earlier, so delegation is something I took a lot of time to understand and implement it. That is one of the learnings. I wish I would have done that a long back. My situation today, what it is, would have been lot much different. But I took my own time to understand. And the moment I realized, okay, the best part is I realized and I implemented. That is important.
So do you say it's never too late?
Yeah, it's never too late.
Never too late.
Never.
Wow. So today, let's just say the connection is at one side, and today you had to start again from scratch, same industry. Do you think you would still be able to make it?
Faster.
Oh.
Faster. Faster. Of course, faster.
Wow. And you will be able to, wow.
Yeah, we'll be able to. We will, because now too I have good experience. And had it been, or even if with this kind of at least learnings that I have, and I'm taken back with 14 years, with only learnings in mind, nothing else. Wow. But still,
then you'll be able to kill it. Did you? How do you deal with failures?
Failures, it's accepted. I don't know.
Like there's this big deal, you know that you're going to get this deal, and you worked there for like 6 months, and then they're like, no, we don't want to go ahead with you.
No, I think certain things comes in your life with that age or maturity, or the moment you have more experiences. I think you cannot. I think the age gives you that, and the more experience. Not just age. 40, 50. Kind of. So even more failures. And then when you face it and when you overcome it, gives you a chance. So I have a client where I have chased them for 2 years and said no. But I also have a client where I've chased for 2.5 years and said yes. So I think with time we have to understand. There are clients who was like everything was good, and yesterday evening he said tomorrow morning, Harshal, we have selected you, and I'm sending you official notice, official letter, start working. I was like excited, but the morning I see an email, it was of rejection. Harshal, we have selected other partner above you. It's like, what has changed overnight? And like, it was sad, but then I spoke to client and he was like not even responding. I said, okay, fine. But then when I'm still in touch. I'm still in touch and I'm still behind that project, and I'm still, I am, because I wanted to know the reason. Because we've been talking for 6 months. Everything was so fair and, done. What a change overnight. But then I found out that reason, where, and then I think I've corrected those.
Wow. So even today, you are going to understand what is the problem and you will fix it.
Yes, because all things that were worked well, but I had given some references,
Okay.
that time. So I'll be open here. There was some references,
Okay.
because we always do a reference check. So clients do a reference check, and out of 3 references, 2 gave a very good feedback.
Okay.
The third one gave negative feedback. Negative is an average feedback, I would say. And because, and I was shocked. And the one who gave negative feedback, I'm still in touch. We are still in good terms. I still call him sir, and he's my senior, and I'm blessed to have him in my life. But now he reacted because we had some arguments before 1 week. And I've been, been resistant over my point. That was long backstory. But then I think that should have not turned out to be a negative remark, but that turned out to be negative. यार वो बहुत resist करता है, वो सुनता नहीं, वो अपनी चलाता है. So that was all gone other way, and I had
Lost the project. So did you change the reference now?
Yeah. So reference now, and I am in touch with that client also, and I'm in touch with the one who gave. I am ensured that whenever, so he is not with my clients or that system anymore. He is doing else, but I'm in touch. As in forgiveness and leave it. As in that's what we have learned. Don't carry it.
One last and final question, because I know I can keep asking you questions, but I know that you'll be tired. So for people like me, what are the 3 advices that you will give related to business, life in general? Like the top 3 advices you would give it to, let's just say you're giving it to me, and also like everybody who's watching there who's just starting with their careers.
No, so advising you as a Ria Jain,
I'm scared.
you have no option of failure. You have to be successful. And why so? Not because, and you don't have to be successful because, uh, so that you to get a luxury or to get XYZ, you have to be successful because one Ria inspires, especially with, the female I've seen. One Ria always inspire hundreds of Ria. That's what I've seen. So we always tell it to my, I have people who come from lower background, the team members background, and they're working, they're married, struggling, but still working, managing their family, kids, everything, but still working, having that smile and energy, But whenever I interact, I always tell them, when you go out, from your home, whether you are staying in any locality, when you start leave your door and, you travel till office, from that door to this door, there are many girls who would want to be like you. They see at you, अरे ये देखो बगल somebody is washing utensils and you are walking. I want to be like her. अरे ये देखो ऑफिस जा रही है, मुझे भी एक दिन बैग लेके जाना है. There are unknown people who are watching you. They don't look at the guy कि मुझे भी इसकी तरह ऑफिस. They look at the girls and the ladies. And you indirectly inspire so many, and you show consistency. Out of 100 people watching you, 50 will turn up and they'll say, नहीं मुझे भी करना है दीदी की तरह काम.
Wow, what great advice. Oh my God.
So I think you have to be successful, because your journey has been watched by many girls, your team members, the others around, through your this podcast or everywhere, there are people watching you. So I think you have to have that. You have no options of going slow or going still. You have to grow fast and higher.
Thank you for seeing so much potential in me, because I don't think anybody has ever trusted me like you. You're like, I know you can do it. And you don't even like you just started knowing me like for the last years, but the way you tell, yeah, I know you can do it. I mean, I'm so grateful to have you in my life. You have no idea how you have changed my life personally also. So thank you so much for that.
No, no, you have been a great soul. I remember you interacting with you. I still remember your message, which I always give it to my BDM team. This is how you should write. Honestly, your first message, hi Harshal, how are you doing? I'm in Pune. I would love to meet you or connect with you on LinkedIn. I would love to meet you in person and explore the synergies. It was such a beautiful, such a professional, and I don't know, somehow that clicked, and then I think we spoke. But I always give that template to my team. Use this, use this. If I can get, I can get attracted or focused there. If that can divert my attention, this should help you also. Write it to your clients. So that was so wonderful, and I think we spoke over the phone, and it was all wonderful. I think we spoke couple of times, and we met almost 1.5 2 years.
Yeah.
But that was wonderful, and every time you have that energy. I know bit about your setups, family. I remember, Are sir, when I told you I am in Ahmedabad, you told me, Harshal, Are sir, you come to my home. Mom will cook for you. My mom is, and like your mom is very good cook. I'm like, okay. Such a, only the good soul can do this. That's what I would say.
Thank you so much. Thank you for coming to this podcast. I am very sure that people who are going to watch this, they are going to learn so much. It is a power packed, value driven podcast, this 1 hour. And I'm sure a lot of people are going to change their lives. Thank you so much for being here. You are the best, and you'll always and always be my mentor. And I'm always going to reach out to you and be like, I need help.
Always welcome. Thank you so much for inviting me and to be here. I really hope that people, I'm sure people would like it because it is Ria's, on the other side, and I'm glad that I'm here.
Thank you, sir.
So, all right. Good luck to you.